Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Dr. Stone. We're starting Season 3, Episode 1. So, I watched the Ryusui special last, where we started building the boat, and we created a hot air balloon, while also freeing a new major character, being the captain who will be steering, or well, captaining the ship anyway, Ryusui. So, he was a businessman. He's introduced currency into the system that Senku and Gen have immediately managed to manipulate, which was quite funny. One of the big things is the idea that because of volcano eruptions and stuff, the landscape has changed so drastically that they now are using the hot air balloons to survey the land, which leads me to think other nations, other countries, other land masses, I should say, may have shifted and changed as well, which has me really excited for the idea of their journey, because I was excited for them to travel and go other places beforehand, but now I'm even more excited, because before it would have just probably been Senku or someone else having maps memorized from living in the old world. But now it's so different that just gives me a lot of excitement for this mysterious new world that they get to explore, right? So, and I think this season actually called like New World or something like that. So, yeah, I'm excited to see it, and I just love. I've wanted them to travel. I've talked about this since the start of the show when when we first had the beam or whatever it was that turned everyone into stone. I was like, oh, I hope they try and figure out how that happens someday. And then when we learned that it was an actual location from the people up in space, Senku's dad and everything, that it was originated from South America, I was like, ooh, okay, it'd be really cool to travel there and try to learn more eventually. And that's what really got my mind set on the traveling aspect, and now we're here. So at least at the moment, we don't really have any antagonists, except for the people who are in jail. I hope that we mainly focus on exploration, discovery, and inventing, mostly. I don't need another Stone War. So let's get into this and see how they kick off this season. All right, we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Given respect. Yeah. A whole band of rare characters. Nice. Okay, so those marks... sorry, I never talked about the marks on his fingers in the special. Because they're blue, so they gave me a different vibe. And they don't necessarily look like healed cracks, but they weren't there before, so they're not tattoos. It's a lot of fabric to deal with. No, everyone loves him. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, how did someone already know his name, but the phone. They've already talked. Cool. I like that he's kind of getting the lore drop. Yep. And that lore drop is filling people in that may have not have seen season 1 and 2 in a while. At all costs, quite literally to him, probably. Again, overseeing the plans. Maybe. To the unknown for everyone, too. Oh, these strong people carrying massive pieces of wood. It's so anime. Wood is heavy, man. Yeah, definitely gotta be careful of that next time we go out. I hope I'm not getting sick. Nice. Oh, new opening. Let's go. New world, yep. Cool. Sukasa. Nice, look at the ship. Who are you? Interesting. Who is that? Evil chef. What was that? Maybe like another visualization of nature? All these people. Hmm. Several of them had the marks from being released from stone, so it's definitely going to be people that were released from stone. At least majority of them that I noticed had it in some way. Oh yeah, time to feast. It's not gonna be quite as... yeah, it's all fish. Yep. Grilled fish something. Chrome is... Mmm. Nice. Oh no. Does he not like having fish for every meal? A year, 2 years? Oh shit. Guess he's not a big fan of only fish. I don't blame him, I'm not a seafood person. Oh, Kohaku got to go up. Is she hanging onto the bottom? She crazy. I know she hangs from trees and stuff, but... Damn. Just gotta hope it's not under that massive waterfall. I guess maybe Senku could figure out a way to do it. Minecraft! Oh my god! I love it! Yes! Awesome. Finding the different biomes. That's so fun. Oh. What is here? I like that they brought the phone with them in case, like, they get lost. Nice. Discovered herd of goats. This is great. I love it. I love the Minecraft references too. And I love how they show us Senku drawing this like crazy detailed map, you know? But then they show us the little like Minecraft one that just makes it like so much easier to understand. No. Oh, they've had to see people starve to death. Damn. Wow. Damn. That's deep. Yeah. Not enough food. Damn. Yeah. Interesting. Oh. Yeah, he's a good guy. Alright. You're on to me. Yeah, but he still cares about the people. See, a truly greedy person Like, some of the money grubbers from our world doesn't care if it brings people to tears. Like, if people were starving to death because they didn't have the money to buy his food. Ah. Nice. Wheat. Hell yeah. Good shit. Alright. I'm gonna talk more about Ryusui in the discussion. I didn't really finish what I was saying. Bread. Is that the proper way to cut it? Do you know the proper way to cut it, Kahaku? Alright, I guess it works. She's carrying so much and Senku can barely carry anything. Nice. Oh. Special attack moves? Time to grow more. So they need a place nearby. Alright. They need a place nearby, but not too far, like, too far away, right? Oh. Man, they're still repairing. These are all people that Tsukasa must have broke, right? Yeah. Oh. Nice. An agriculture spin-off. Amaze balls. Again. Is someone gonna jump into the hat? Kohaku? Oh. Okay. Motivation. Yo's farm. It's like Minecraft once again, like labeling your plots and everything if you're playing with friends. Taiju still going at it. Yeah, Taiju, don't push yourself too hard. Infinite stamina. That guy's hair. It's insane. Oh. Oh, what a good dude. Yuzuriha tearing up. Hey, look at it all growing. Good thing it's like the time of year for them to grow, too. Oh, no. Yeah. We had that very early on. Yep. Cool. A pH strip? Yeah, it's pretty much pH, yeah. Ah. So, something about their soil? Okay. Is there something that can grow in acidic soil, though, I wonder? Or they just have to use the lime to... I don't know if it's considered lime. Sorry, I play a lot of farming sim, and that white powder is lime in that game, is what they call it. It might just be like a spin-off of that same... I can't remember what they called it in Season 1. It's been calcium carbonate? Holy shit! Did I just pull that out of my ass? Is that what it is? Oh, Taiju, the winner. Wheat crops acquired. Hell yeah. The balloon! I'll buy all of it and feed everyone, see? I mean, unless he still has a plan to, like, buy it and resell it. But still. Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's so much. But they have a good amount of people. They're gonna need it. Oh, what a great first episode. I mean, really, it's just a continuation of, you know, it's called Season 3, but it's just a continuation of what we've been seeing. Ooh. This is interesting. I'm sure the opening will grow on me, but so far I like the outro song way more. But I need to hear the opening again. Visuals are interesting, though. Ooh. I like it. Yeah, I really like this outro. Alright. Oh, we do have after credits. This is why I watch sometimes. Have we ever had after credits in this show? That's why I always stay around for these. Hmm. Oh, damn. Oh no, that is toasted. Yep. They're eating it. Oh no, guys! No! Yo. Damn. Just don't cook it as long. Oh, we saw a chef in the opening, huh? Oh, okay. Now it's done. What is this? Okay, next episode. That is it for episode 1 of season 3, guys. Fun. Awesome. I loved it. As usual with this show, I just love I love the adventure, the discovery, the science and all that. Granted, we didn't really have inventing, but we started agriculture, which is very cool. And we did see some of the tools that, they don't show us every tool they make now, right? Like the process of separating I'm guessing the seeds or whatever from the wheat, where they were putting it in between that thing. We learned by seeing them do it, but we didn't see them actually put together the mechanism, even though it looks like just a bunch of boards next to each other, probably with a distinct amount of space between them, and then they put the wheat through it and pull it through, right? So nothing too crazy, but some of these little things we've been seeing them come up with, and we don't see the whole process of making it, mainly because we have the resources and we have the knowledge now. So it's like if the show wants to progress, they can't stop and show us every single little thing. Like them making the loom, they could have spent a whole episode of them trying to make that loom, but we were moving things along. So it makes sense. But I hope we do sometimes still see that science side of things. But I mean, we have just last episode we saw them, doing all the work and everything to make the cloth, to then make the hot air balloon and all that. So sure, there were parts we skipped, like making the whole burner part of it and everything, but it was just kind of a spin-off of the furnace that we already had. So but I do hope we still have some of those in-depth road maps of cool things to make. But it might not be as common this season because we're just kind of blasting through the creation process and getting to the adventure and discovery aspect, which I think is good too. It is a nice change of pace from what we've had, so I enjoyed it. Kohaku being crazy, hanging off the bottom of that hot air balloon, I know she's just confident. She always does her flips and twirls and everything, so she can probably just flip herself right back up there if she starts getting tired and all that. But man, I do not have especially for her first time flying, to have the courage to just hang from the bottom of that, right? Sure, she's used to heights from being in trees and stuff like that, but that's still a whole different style of height. But it was cool that she got to go up there. I really like that. Senku talked about being stuck for 1 to 2 years, estimated, to try to find the oil. I don't know if that was him teasing Ryusui because he could tell that Ryusui wasn't a fan of the food there and everything, and he was like, how long are we going to be stuck in this village? And Senku's like, 1 to 2 years, just to mess with him, or if it really is going to be that long. And I do wonder, some of the people in the opening, it's some of the designs are kind of a little more difficult sometimes to tell whether it could be an aged up character or just a new character. But one of them kind of looked like Mirai a little bit, but looked a little older. So I wonder if there is a chance that we do have a bit of a time skip while they're finding the oil, building the boat. All of this stuff is going to take a good amount of time. So, I mean, hell, we've already had them, like at the end of the episode there, they had the wheat. So they had the time of finding the wheat, however long it took them to get all the farming plots set up, and then planting it, and then for it to grow to a full crop and then harvest it. So, or actually, yeah, well, I guess they were doing test bread, so they did manage to harvest it. All of that takes time, even though, you know, we had some silly speed running here of them running through and just chop, 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 like doing row after row within seconds. That's not actually how fast it took them. As we see when it like honed in on Taiju doing it, he was like hit a spot, and he was like barely moving. You know, that stuff takes time. So, but yeah, so a lot of time has already passed just for them to get all that set up and for it to grow. I do wonder if one of those characters in the opening that I didn't quite recognize, but kind of look like Mirai, could be just an older Mirai. But I guess we'll see. There's definitely a lot of characters. For one, they talked about waking up a chef, and we have that one guy in the opening, which, once again, I hope he's not actually a bad guy. I hope he's just another dramatic, ecstatic character that we have added to the list, right? Because we have that, like, imagery of him with, like, 2 other followers or something, it looks like, that were, like, to each side of him, and it just makes me worried whenever we wake up new people that we're gonna wake up a new Tsukasa and have some evil chef on our hands, but I think it is just probably a visualization, I hope anyway, so, the whole debacle of, like, the older folks being, like, crying, saying, like, hopefully we don't have any more starvation, and then the idea that the village used to be bigger, and they just don't have enough food with only fishing. I'm surprised they never, like, I mean, I guess they are a very primitive village, but with the 100 tails and everything, I know some of those tails were supposed to be to help them with survival and everything. I'm surprised none of them helped with, like, farming in any regard, or they never, like, figured it out, right? Like, because our ancestors that originated managed to figure out agriculture, not on the scale that Senku's doing it on and everything, but very primitive humans figured out planting and stuff like that, so I'm kind of surprised that they never really got into that, but they are in an area that was mountainous and not very good for it, so maybe they tried, and, you know, maybe they had the idea of, oh, these, like, little things, I wonder what happens if we plant them, but then they tried to plant them and they didn't grow, so they were like, oh, I guess that doesn't work, right? Like, they don't have the concept of planting seeds, and I mean, unless it's in the 100 Tails, and having stuff grow, so it's possible it's something that they tried, but it just didn't work because their soil was bad, but they didn't know that, so they just assumed it didn't work and never tried it again, rather than trying it in a different area, so, I don't know, it's definitely an interesting thing that they never had it before, but I really like the sentiment of, you know, now hopefully no one will have to starve anymore, and the old lady, or the old people just being happy about that, not just the ladies. But leading into that, that's where we gave a lot of focus to Ryusui again, and talking about his greed, and Senku was saying that he, you know, his true colors is that he wants to get this food and sell it and make money, right? But, because, like, everything's a business to him. But at the same time, later in the episode, we had him say, I want to buy all this and so everyone can have food. Like, I truly believe that he's a good guy, and sure, he's going to try to profit from a lot of things and try to build a business and all that and try to own everything with his greed. But I don't think he would ever let anyone starve, right? Like, I don't think he would buy all the food and then no one else can have any because he bought it all, right? Or I don't think if people didn't have the money to pay for the food, I don't think he'd be like, oh, well, guess you're starving to death, you know? I think he would help them out because he is a good dude. That's the vibe I'm getting from him. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it is all an ulterior motive just to make money, and we'll see that down the road. But you know, I think it's just one of those things like we have a few other ecstatic characters that kind of go like, you know, like Gen kind of makes himself sound evil sometimes, but we know he's good at heart and everything, even when he's doing these maniacal manipulations and cackling about it and everything. Excuse me. But yeah, it's just one of those things that the anime kind of does, where they go hard on a personality trait on a character. And I mean, there were a couple times where I was like, all right, Ryusui, I get it. Like, you said like 5 times this episode that you're greedy and you want everything. It does, I will say, there is a small part of me where it goes over the top a little bit too much, or too often, I should say. But he is still a new character, reminding the audience who he is and what he's about after the special and with the new season. I hope it's not something where every episode we get him saying 4 or 5 times about how greedy he is, but but yeah. I did really like the beginning where they were taking him around Ishigami Village and kind of telling him the origin of like, oh, these are people who lived here before, that were never in stone and stuff like that. They're very primitive and all that. And I love how much that's another thing, is he has so much respect for them, right? Like calling the elderly ladies they're beautiful and stuff like that. And when they first showed up, he was like, oh, so this is Ishigami Village. Like, he called them primitive, but he said it's beautiful in its own right and everything. So he had respect for the accomplishments they made, unlike people like Yo, who was mocking them for being primitive. And that's where it's like, you know, I didn't like Yo for kind of, you know, not a similar thing, but you know, you can link kind of the two together between the two, but Ryusui is just so respectful about it, and I love it. So Taiju's moment was really heartwarming. He's such a good character, but we really don't know a lot of, like, it really made me realize we don't know a lot about him. Like, he was in the first season of it. We know he's friends with Senku. We know they went to school together. We know he likes Yuzuriha. And we know he's big muscle boy, not much brain, right? I mean, he definitely has brains, don't get me wrong. But like, other than that, we had no idea about his family, other things that he likes. He's just kind of been there. And I like that little bit of development from him of being, you know, I lost all my family before all this happened, before all the stone and everything, and if I had a way to get them back, I'd want to. So he's working extra hard to get everybody food, so that way we can, you know, progress society and get to the point where we can bring these people back to life and get people reunited with their families, and that's just such a heartwarming thing. So I loved it. Great first episode. I think that's pretty much all I have. I'm looking forward, like, I do like the difference in the eating palettes too, of like, we had it before as well, where when they made the first batches of ramen, it wasn't super good. Senku said it tasted like medicine, but the people of Ishigami Village, the natives, loved it because they don't have the same refined palate that we have. And same with the bread, they're just chowing down on it, even though I can't imagine how disgusting it would be for us. But for them, it's just like, at that point, who knows what they had to go through with like starvation and slow periods with fishing, where they just eat anything and are happy with it. So, but I've been waiting for agriculture to get started. This is one of like the key components. I felt like when Tsukasa was like, oh, you can't feed 2 billion people, it's like, well, once we start doing stuff like this and get this going, and, you know, as we release more people, we grow our fields and have more and varied crops in different places where they thrive and grow, and we'll have as we release more people and have the food to sustain more people, we'll be able to just slowly fan out and branch out, and in worst case, once we have ships and everything, once Japan is kind of exhausted, we might have to start societies in other places of the world and everything. But like with all that information, it's stuff that we can do. And if Senku can expand his cell phones and everything, right? Like if he can make them reach from Japan to whatever the next closest continent is, even if he can only get it to barely reach the next continent or whatever the next landmass, you could maybe daisy chain information. Like you could have literally someone working at like a call center, like on the next spot over, where they get a call from Ishigami Village saying, hey, deliver this message to this area. And then that person has like 4 phones there or something that then call like 4 different branched out locations or something like that, right? And delivers the message to where it needs to go or something like that could be in the future. So things like that are, or maybe Senku's just smart enough to expand the range to make cell phone towers that will do that for us, right? Without having to have someone relaying that information. Maybe instead you just build a tower here and a tower there and it's enough. I don't know. But I guess we'll see if it gets to that point. I don't even know if the show will get to that point. I do wonder where season 3 is going to leave off, and I do wonder if season 3 is the end. Like, I haven't looked up at all. I know season 3 is all that's out right now, as far as I'm aware anyway. But I don't know if that's like the end of the manga, or if it keeps going and we're going to get a season 4 eventually, or whatnot. But I guess that'll be something that I learn about in the future. I'll probably look it up before the end of season 3, but I don't want to look it up towards the beginning of season 3 because I kind of like watching through the season, not having the speculation of it being like, oh, so this is the final season, so I'm going to start expecting these different things. So usually I wait towards the end of a show to start looking into it, but not the last episode. Maybe like 2 or 3 episodes before the end, I'll actually look up and try to find out whether or not it's the final season or whatnot. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. 2 episodes ahead through the early access tier. Links in the description below to that, or it should be popping up on the screen. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.